We are backstage right now. We will be starting our live radio show on River West Radio. We've got Ability MKE Now coming up in about 15 seconds. So just stand by a moment here and we'll begin. Welcome to Ability MKE Now. My name is Sue Roskoff, and we are here on River West Radio talking all about integration, bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have different abilities, and here at Ability MKE Now, we dive into this topic of diverse abilities. The concept of disability hits a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical or mental disabilities, the deaf and hard of hearing community, blindness, chronic pain, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction, and the list goes on. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own or with people we know or people we encounter in our daily lives. Here at Ability MKE Now, we break down the barriers and celebrate the ability in all of us. I, as always, am excited to bring in the wonderful Denise Vargas into this conversation here. How are you doing tonight, Denise?
I am doing fabulous, Sue. Thank you for having me on again. Hello, Milwaukee, all the way from New York.
Awesome. I am so excited to bring a topic up tonight that I think with your live creatively twist on everything is going to really this is gonna be a fun conversation. I'm in kind of a nostalgic mode right now. People know we are skiers. We are water skiers. We do ski shows. We do adaptive water skiing. One of the guys that we have known, gosh, I personally have known him for a little over 30 years. And I know my husband's known him for, gosh, for him, actually, it's come more in the realm of about 40 years. He is a gentleman that has made a big impact in our ski world and in our little corner here. He's an I'm going to give his first name is John, and he is one that, believe it or not, skied in a ski show on his 90th birthday. 90.
Wow.
This was a few years ago. So he turned 90 back in 2019. So the last time he skied with us was actually the summer, well, the end of summer 2019 on his 90th birthday. And he is, my gosh, he is a guy full of stories, full of life, full of so much good. He has no idea the impact he's made on so many people. Part of why I bring him up today actually is the unfortunate part of a gentleman at that age. He is now 94, and sadly, actually, we lost him just about a week ago, and his funeral is happening this week here locally, and so sad that he is no longer with us here. You know, that we can keep skiing with him. He was one of my ski buddies, but the more I think about it and the more I think about all the things that he's done, oh my goodness. Well, with our ski club, this is our 40th anniversary year. So 40 years of putting on ski shows. You know how many people have come and gone over the course of 40 years? Oh my gosh. I'm working, I should say there are several people working very hard putting together an alumni list. 10 years ago, I worked really hard putting together the list up to that point and trying to keep up with contact info and all that. We did the best we could to actually get all the names compiled. And I know there's been a few others that have picked up the baton and have been really working hard to get everybody together because we're trying to do some big things this year to celebrate the 40th. And we want to make sure people know about it. And now with the passing of John, you know, trying to reach out and let people know that, hey, your ski buddy, he he's not here now, and wanted to give people a chance to honor his legacy and the life that we got to share with him. And I just keep thinking over and over the impact that one person can make. And I know for a fact all these, I mean, dozens, actually at this point, hundreds of people that we've had the pleasure of being on the same team as members of our water ski club, and that John's what he has done has impacted each and every one of those, whether they were young, old, in between somewhere, everybody knew John. Everybody actually knew how to wrap a ski rope because John's the guy who told them how. And if you didn't do it right, he would work with you till you got it right. Because that's an important piece, actually. If you don't wrap your rope right, you're going to have a knot, and then you're going to fall, and then you're going to cause all sorts of havoc during a show. Safety, right? We need to be safe. Part of that is wrapping a rope. And he got to be, over the years, he was the guy. If you are learning how to wrap your rope, you go see John. He will make sure you're doing it right, and he won't stop working with you until you get it right. So things like that seem like such small things, but isn't life made up of all the little things that add up to just being a big, wonderful, beautiful thing? uh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just know with our club, he has made such a difference. So I'm just gonna start there. I've got a lot more thoughts to share, but I know the impact that one person can make.
Oh, for sure. And like you just said, it's all those little things that when you add them up, it's massive. The way that that person imprinted themselves in your heart, and everything that you do from now on, like you said, tying that rope. You will forever think of John when you're tying that rope. When you see someone else tying a rope incorrectly, you will now step into John's role and do it as John would have done it, because that is part of you now. He left that with you. And it's going to be second nature to you. And the fact that he will continue to live on in everything that you do with him in mind, it's going to be just amazing that other people will be able to learn about him, even though he's not there. All the images, the ski shows, the stories that I'm sure there are tons and tons and tons of stories. I don't know him, but just from hearing you talk about him, I feel like I've known him.
I have so many great stories, and he's a guy, he was a storyteller. He was not afraid to grab the microphone if he was offered the opportunity. He was not afraid to be just he would share stories. If you were often after our ski nights are done, pretty often whoever's able to that night, well, we often would go to some local restaurant or establishment of some sort just to hang out with our teammates for a while and maybe grab something to eat. And typically, especially the last maybe 10 years of being with the club, there's a lot of turnover in the club, right? So we've known him for feels like forever. Known him almost as long as I've known my husband. And it's something where often when we would go out, we'd be sitting at the same table with him. And like I said, he's a storyteller. You know how many stories I've heard the same story multiple times, like to the point that I can tell the story for him. And I love his stories. He is so relatable, so fun, so kind. He actually, one of his favorite things to talk about was his time when he was, I'm still trying to figure out if he was maybe a teenager. Granted, he has not been with our club now since 2019. So I'm all those stories that you hear, and I never thought at the time I'd be the one reciting stories back, but now I'm at that point where it's like, oh, he had so many great stories. So Camp Whitcomb Mason is not too far outside of Milwaukee. It is in the Merton area on Lake Kesis, and he has so many good stories and good memories from time he spent at that camp, that was like a life-changing thing for him. And one of the things that I find is amazing, the world, things just kind of happen sometimes, right? That there's thin threads that weave together different pieces of our lives. It turns out now in these last few years that there's a great event that takes place at that camp that is called At the Lake event. It is awesome. It is a 2-day event where people with a variety of abilities come on out to the lake, and there's adaptive skiing, kayaking, boating. Let's see, what not well, yeah, I think there's a pontoon boat. So yeah, going on a boat. They've got a rock climbing wall, they've got crafts, they've got games, they've got tours of the ground, they got all sorts of things, and everything that they do is all ability. So obviously we're skiers, right? So we've been going out there. We've had, I think maybe 3 different years that we were able to volunteer and help out with the skiing portion. And I just think it's so cool that things could come full circle to that extent where I've heard all these stories from, I mean, we're talking like the 1940s, I believe, maybe the 1930s, where he had spent summers out at the same exact place where I now am helping out with adaptive skiing at this great camp location that actually we are going to go visit tomorrow. Actually, our family, Kurt reached out, talked to the person who's the director out there. We are going out there tomorrow to just touch base with them and kind of talk about possibilities in the area here. And
Wow.
I just love how things can flow like that in life, right? Things
Ab-
connect that you just don't ever expect would.
Absolutely. And what I'm hearing as you're talking about him, I am now hearing you inadvertently tell all of his stories. They're going to continue to flow through you. And the more that you do that, the more stories you will remember. So even if right now you might not remember all the details, you will be surprised how they will come back to you. Why? Because you're speaking from the heart. It's someone that really connected with you, and you will remember everything.
Yeah, when you spend 2 nights a week doing an event with people, right? 2 nights a week for almost half of the year, every year. So obviously it's seasonal, right? But in the off season, we still get together at least once a month. And once it gets to be spring, it's every week. And now once a week, and now it's twice a week. That's a lot of time to spend with someone.
Yeah.
And you get to be good friends. I mean, honest to goodness, you don't necessarily get to be good friends with everybody because there's a lot of people, right? But you tend to click with certain ones, and those people that you click with, you get to really cherish that time you spend together. And he's one of those guys that I really look forward to seeing. He was always the first one there, and among the last one to leave. He would be there before anybody else and be directing traffic. So when the trailer would show up full of all the equipment, he would be able to stop traffic and make sure they get parked okay. He was always looking out for others. Even when he was at that point, picture, we all know how when you get older, you tend to slow down a little bit, even with your walking. And, that I very affectionately call like the old man shuffle. If you can picture, just he had turned into where he was shuffling because that's just what happens, right?
Yeah.
Except when he put skis on. When he
Wow.
was on the water, he looked like a kid out there bouncing around on those skis, and the smile on his face, and in turn, the smile that the entire audience caught because of what he was doing and what he basically showing he's just doing something he loves. But really, in my mind, I'm like, he skied till he was 90.
Wow.
Challenge taken. If I'm not still skiing when I'm 90, I'm gonna be kind of peed off here because it's like I need to be able to keep going.
And you know what? You will. You will because you had someone in your life that showed you, hey, if I can do it in my 90s, you can do it.
Exactly. What we all need that in our life, right? Somebody that you can look towards and be able to set your own goals for yourself and just in your own little corner of the world
Yeah.
what kind of goals do I have? And I mean, I don't know where I'm gonna be when I'm 90. I hope I get to be 90,
Yeah.
right? There's so much that's between now and then. I know I actually had forgotten about this part. I was reminded that we had a time many years ago where he figured he was going to retire. It was his time to stop skiing. And it was even to the point of it was a big deal. And it was in our book, in our we have a little booklet that we put together with pictures and our sponsors and all these things that we hand out to anybody who comes to a show. And I was told I'm like, I gotta go look this up. One of the years we had a book where there was a whole page on this is his last season. He's hanging up his skis and celebrating all that. He never hung up his skis. We all kind of talked him into it's like, you're not done yet. You can't stop. You can ski. Why stop now? I
Well, I
think that
gotta tell you, I'm
yeah,
sure wherever he is now, he is skiing. He found a lake somewhere and he is skiing. And that just goes to show it's never too late. You're never too old. If you really want to do something, that will push you.
that said, he did not actually start skiing until I believe he was in his 40s, was the first time he did.
Wow.
So you never know where life is going to take you. And that's where I go back to you never know the impact that you make on others because he wasn't doing all this to impact others. He was doing it because it was fun. He enjoyed coming out there. He liked being on the water and enjoyed we always call our group, it's our ski family. We have our our immediate family, right? Blood relatives. We've got what you always refer to as the friends that become family, which is our family, which I love that because that's basically what our ski club is like sometimes too. We call that all the time, our ski family. And I know even in somewhere along the way with one of the write-ups that his daughter had put together, that she was doing sending a lot of love out to his second family, which was his ski family. And truly, we looked out for each other and all these things I am convinced he had zero clue of the impact he made on all of these people all along the way with just doing what he loved.
Yeah.
How awesome is that to be able to just be a positive influence outward to others, just doing something that was as pure and wonderful as what we did, what he did, just because he loved it.
And I think that that's probably why it impacted you and so many others is because he wasn't purposely trying to teach you something. He just taught it because he was having so much fun doing it that you saw his joy, you saw his passion, and you learned to just know that, hey, if he's doing it and he's having so much fun, let me try it, right? Let me see what happens.
It is so much fun to think back. Even there were nights where I would have people asking just random audience members that I don't know of all the people that has ever been asked about. He's the guy where they're like, you got this older gentleman, this grandpa kind of guy is he still around? Is he still skiing? It's like, oh yeah. For years we got to have that be our answer of, oh yeah, he's still here. Just wait, he's coming. And it was unfortunate that he finally did get to that point of, we've talked before about being temporarily able-bodied. A friend helped coin that term for me of TAB, temporarily able-bodied, and he fell into that whole category of his temporary was really long. He had 90 years worth of good going on there physically. And honestly, with him, it was the mental side that dementia is a real thing. And when you talk about world of ability, the whole idea of dementia and how that actually impacts an individual. He remembered things from way back, but don't ask him what he had for breakfast. That things changed. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget the one time that we actually carpooled with him often. Sometimes we had one ski show we did on the road, he would always hop in with us and we'd carpool together because he knew how to get to our house. So that's all you have, just get by us. We got to the rest of the way. But I know there was one time where it was getting to be dark out and we were coming back to our point where his car was, and it's the same parking lot he's pulled out of I don't know how many times. And that particular day he was just he got a little disoriented and was just double checking which way he turned out of the parking lot. And that was that first moment for me where it's like, okay, yep. Oh, that's that hard moment of realization of my buddy who's in his 90s. He's got something to deal with now, right? And
Mm.
that was for me a hard moment to realize, and obviously hard for me. What? No, just that realization of this guy that I care so much about is going to be having some struggles coming up. I think, that was just for me a clue. We got to pay attention to the hints and clues around us. When you
Yeah.
have a friend that there's something that seems a little off, pay attention to that stuff, help them out. But that's hard, to have that kind of thing going on.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, he that was kind of the first I knew that there was something that has changed.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is a hard thing to deal with. But it's actually interesting that they remember so much from the past in such detail, but they don't remember what they had for breakfast, like literally 5 minutes ago. They just finished eating, right? But what I find really amazing is that those stories that they remember, that's what's important. It doesn't matter what you ate 5 minutes ago. It doesn't matter, that you can't remember that you had a doctor's appointment. I mean, well, probably should remember something like that. But, what's important is that you remember all those beautiful moments in your life. And I feel that that is what makes that easier to deal with, at least for your loved ones that you're leaving behind.
Yeah, and I want to say a big welcome here. Ellen Holmes is joining us. We are just I'm doing a little reminiscing at the moment. We're talking about a good friend that has been in our ski club for 35 of the 40 years of its existence, and he had just recently passed away. And I'm just taking some time to honor him and share some of those stories that make him who he is. But Alan, I'm so glad you're joining us here tonight. I wonder if you want to just hop on in real quick and say hello and let us know how you're doing. How are you tonight?
Well, I'm sorry I'm late. I was clicking on a couple of restreams, but before you know, uh, I'm gonna say my deepest condolences, my friend. I can hear in your voice you're trying to. Anybody knows me, I can jump right in, and there's a time and place to joke, but this is a time to remember. What was your friend's name?
John.
John, well, I know you talked about John a couple of times. I just want to say my deepest condolences. Um, I know he's looking down on you, and it's the summer's time of Prince's. I know you and Kurt have been an incredible um, blessing in my life. So I want to just say, there's no words that really can when you lose a loved one, but the very fact that you have someone who is part of your life and they always be awarded and watching over at the AbilityMKE Now. I'm hearing as just a honor and respect and just in presence and just being. Sometimes it has to just be, and that's where I am with all of you. And I see my wonderful Denise over there in the corner, and three other participants. I'm on the phone. I can't see, but uh thank you. I'm just here.
Awesome. So glad you're here, Alan. Yeah, this is one thing where we started talking about by what the impact a person can make, like that they don't even realize that they're making in the world and on their friends and just to those around them. People don't always realize what a wonderful impact they can make just by being themselves and just being a good person and looking out for others. Just all those little things that add up and truly, sometimes I think about that whole concept of somebody's having a bad day, and sometimes all it takes to really try to flip somebody's day is give them a smile, give something to brighten their day. And smiling at someone is so easy to do. I'm to the point of I'm almost silly, right? I'm always smiling. You see me on any of the shows that we do, I have a smile glued to my face most of the dang time because that's just it, it helps to brighten things up. For me, it does anyway. I know I'm hoping it's making some kind of a positive place for others,
Oh
but
yeah.
that is the
Yeah.
kind of thing that just to be able to touch somebody, even on that little note of positivity, hopefully that helps. And I don't think anybody truly absorbs and understands the potential we all have for being that person and for making that impact. And don't sell yourself short because you sure can make an impact on others that can really make a bigger difference for that person than you ever thought was possible.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
impact.
Joe,
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry,
Howard.
go ahead, Kenny. I'm going to say that Joe Hawk is a good friend of mine on LinkedIn. He always says, and I need to reach out to him, and I haven't talked to him in a while, but his favorite line, and he said it to me once, but it's stuck forever. He says, always leave someone better than you found.
I
Love
love
that.
that.
Love that. Yeah, I was gonna say that the impact that others leave on you, you will then now leave not only your impact, but their impact that they left on you. So remember that as you, Sue, and the Roscoff family ski all the way into your 90s.
That is our short-term goal is actually our long-term goal. Our little goal of we got to keep it going because the older we get, the more it's like, oh, I'm feeling that hip now, and oh, my knees, and oh my, it gets harder. And the I'm 52, so I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm still here. I got a long ways to go.
Hey, 52. I'm 54. Now, what do I like, Grandpa? Now, no, now, look here. All right. Oh, now you're going to have me sit up. Now, Miss Sue, don't have me come over there. Where's Kurt at? You going to.
He's not far.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I got you
Okay.
all beat. I'm 56.
Oh man, so
You, my,
I love it.
25. That's what my mama said. Women are
Oh,
always 25. I don't hear la, 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 la. No.
So you just have to flip my numbers around and I'm there. So we're all good. But that's that again, the whole idea of temporarily able-bodied. I took for granted when I first started skiing how easy it was to do all the things and to make do the motions. We climb into human pyramids out there, and it was a lot easier than it is now. But I'm still doing it, and I love every minute of it. I mean, I actually last night during practice, we were out on the barge. So we're out in the middle of the lake. It was nice. We could split up into two different groups during practice and we're taking turns doing different things. And I know everybody was so overly polite about, well, if you want to go ahead, it's your turn. And it's okay, that's my turn now. And I'm like, I don't care. I even said, I'll go when it's my turn. It's all good. I'm out here. I'm in my happy place. I love this. We all have to find what is my happy place? What does that look like?
yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy that he found his happy place. He stayed with it all into his 90. And so, John, even though I did not know you, thank you for having an impact on my beautiful friend Sue and her family and so many other people. And you know what? Ski in heavenly peace.
Awesome. Oh, I love that. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I hope that everybody can have somebody like John in their life that can be that positive, even a little spicy kind of a personality at times. Yeah, I would say that he was Italian, and there was times where it's like he can start getting it's like don't get him going. But we love that about him because we knew he has your back. He has you no matter what. He's there if you need anything. He's that kind of guy. And again, the positive impact that he made on so many people, on me, on my family, on our club, in his own family, all across. John, I can't thank you enough. And I hope you all have clear water for the rest of the skiing that you get to do as you continue on. And I am, again, Sue Roscoff here with Ability MKE Now, and we thank you.